Hello, and welcome back to the Really Fucking Brutal podcast.
It's about to get really fucking brutal.
It has been another hot minute. You guys, it's been over a month, maybe over two, since we last spoke. I'm sorry. But I'm also learning to be unapologetically sorry. Is that the right way to say it? I'm just learning to be unapologetic. I don't really remember what we spoke about the last time, but I figured today would just kind of be a catch up and reconnect, and check in with you guys and see where we go. I'm going to start off by expressing how I feel in this current minute and why I feel like I've been so overwhelmed in getting back to this podcast. I feel like the responsibility and setting myself up and saying like I have to post this amount of times a month or this day every week causes me a lot of stress and makes me want to give up. So I feel overwhelmed, and then I feel like I can't function, and I don't post for 2 months and don't film, and I actually like resent it and then resent myself for not doing anything about it. So that's how I'm feeling in this current moment. There's also been a lot of changes in my personal life. I moved. I unfortunately lost a pet, and then I gained a pet, and he's looking at me right now. I got a dog. Um, I have seen a psychiatrist again. I have gotten new diagnoses. I am still working, hardly working, but trying. Um, and I guess we'll get into all those little factors now. I have a lot of mental illnesses and a lot of tricky things to handle mentally. If you see me like scratching here, I have a heart monitor, but it's so freaking itchy and annoying. I'm allergic to it. I actually have to stop the Holter monitor early. Anyway, that's also what that spot is, if you're wondering. I am someone with very complex mental health. So I'm always constantly seeing a psychiatrist or a doctor and needing updates and follow ups. So I actually am starting DBT therapy soon. I've only ever done CBT and I hated it. I didn't like it. Sure, I learned stuff and can put forth what I learned into daily life, but that's not the type of therapy that I think would benefit me the most. So I'm not wanting to do that again. I wanted to try something new. So I believe it starts towards the end of this month. I'll be starting DBT, which is exciting. Hopefully it's good and I stay and I stick with it because I am one to just quit, give up, and ghost. So, like I said, I've connected with a psychiatrist again and found out that I'm bipolar. And um, there's a lot of different emotions that come with receiving a new diagnosis. There's relief, there's understanding, there's less stress, but there's also like anxiety, there's guilt, there's mourning. With any diagnosis, things most of the time will start to make sense for you looking back at the past. Um, Things will start to like puzzle piece together and make a lot more sense. And that's kind of where I'm at right now in assessing my behavior, and how I got to realizing all this and getting a diagnosis was through like putting myself in an outside perspective at third person, looking at my behavior from a clinical sense, as well as getting personal and professional um, feedback and what other people thought, whether they were people who were professionals in the field, have bipolar themselves, or, just are in my daily life and support me, getting everybody's ideas, everybody's perspective on bipolar and whether or not I seem to meet that criteria. And I do. But the other side is I feel sad because number one, it took how many years for me to get diagnosed? How many misdiagnoses? How many excessive medications have I been put on to manage what wasn't thought to be bipolar? How many people could have caught this sooner? How much have I missed out on because I wasn't receiving the proper treatment for the proper diagnosis? And like sad because I didn't have a genuine understanding of myself until recently. And I feel like I have a lot of the answers now. I have a lot of understanding, but it's still very foreign and still a very long process of healing and coming to terms with being bipolar. So that is also part of why I go through these ebb and flows of creating this podcast, releasing all these episodes, and then disappearing. Same with my content on Instagram. Create all this content, be super passionate and confident, and then disappear. It's those manic and depressive episodes coming and going. And unfortunately, we are manic at this moment, but also fortunately not in the depressive. So yeah, couldn't tell you what's worse. Probably depressive. Because manic feels good until it doesn't. The depressive is just shit. Anyway, that's as of lately, still working through it, waiting for another assessment and some medication adjustments. So, yes, I was thinking like I guess I could talk about my like bipolar symptoms and what it's like being someone with bipolar, but I'm not ready. I know I'm not ready. I know there's so much I still have to learn and like I'm not ready to talk like I know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna preach to a choir. I know nothing. So, eventually and someday it will come. But as of right now, I know that I'm not well versed in chatting about it quite yet. I'm still understanding myself as someone who knows they are bipolar. So that's tricky. Other health wise, I have this Holter monitor on, supposed to, for 2 weeks for seizures, but I have such a severe allergic reaction that I think I'm going to have to take it off early. I have also had the worst luck with skin conditions. I've been diagnosed with 3 different severe types of eczema. Okay, I've had contact dermatitis, and then I've had 2 different types of like severe eczema on my hands. I used to wear fake nails religiously and started doing my own nails, and now I can't. I had to take them all off, and my hands are still healing. Um, it's been a long road, a very painful one I would not wish on anybody else, to the point where like my hands were stuck in a permanent position because they were so raw and dry. There was no moisture at all in the skin on my hands. So, thankfully I can move my hands now. They don't hurt 24/7 and I don't have to sleep with gloves on and 10 pounds of Vaseline on my hands each night. Had a couple seizures here and there. My bladder health, oh my God, you know how embarrassing it is to be 24 and peeing my pants? Haven't had any children. Like nothing would warrant this. Why do I pee my pants? I have overactive bladder syndrome. Where the fuck did that come from? I think my endometriosis has grown somewhere and is pushing out my bladder. That's what it is. But no doctor believes me, or we'll look into it. So that's kind of the health update, the mental health update. I moved, and that was very stressful and traumatic. When I started this podcast, was living in another home that was extremely toxic. My landlord pulled a whole bunch of illegal shit, moved squatters in, and then told me I needed to get out so that the squatters had somewhere to sleep. So that was great. Um, More to that, I think she's actually psychotic. Um, there's so much crazy illegal stuff that went on. And at least now I'm in a safe home away from her. And I have my own dog here. And I'm like happy in this place, in this home, and away from my landlord in the old place. So that's good. That's great. Well, I guess I could talk about how my dog, actually, we're going to talk about my dog and how he helps me. This is Crocodile. He is a Staffy mini American Eskimo mix that we know of. He's one. He's just a baby. His birthday was in April. And he loves treats. I got a dog because, number one, when I lived in Ontario, I met my soul dog. And me and my ex owned this soul dog. And when I had to leave, obviously, he belonged rightfully to her, rightfully legally to her, but wrongfully socially not. And she was a huge emotional support to me, my best friend, and the only reason I made it out of there alive, truthfully. So, when I came back, I knew I was ready. I knew what to expect with a dog, and I knew I wanted a dog, but up until now, I wasn't able to, and it didn't align. But I did have another pet up until recently, but she passed away. And then I got this guy. It lined up so perfectly, like everything was meant to be. He reminds me so much of the dog I had in Ontario, but they're not the same in any way. But I love him so much. Having a dog for me does provide huge emotional support. Okay, you're gonna lay right there. Even in my OCD has gotten much better because he's always asking for pets and requiring pets. I go to like pick at something, do something, and he's like pawing at me, almost telling me to stop. He's so smart. He also helps me get out of the house. When I'm in those major depressive episodes, I do not leave my bed for what feels like months until it's over. But with him, I'm expected to at least go on 3 good walks a day and not just like to rot my brain with something. And he is responsible for me getting up every morning. If I can't take care of myself, at least I know I will be able to take care of him because he means so much to me and I will do anything for animals. So if I can't even get up and brush my teeth and shower, at least I know I'm going to get up 3 times a day, take him for a walk, feed him, give him water, anything like that. And the more I take care of him and it gets me up, the more I'm able to take care of myself. I genuinely feel happier. I experience less panic and anxiety because of him. I do feel happier with him in my life. He brings me joy, he makes me laugh, and he is amplifying my quality of life. And not everybody who, is mentally ill or is chronically ill is also able to have a dog. So I'm not saying by any means like you're mentally ill, you're chronically ill, just get a dog and it'll like help you, it'll fix you. I'm not saying that for everybody. Some people's capacity is too low. They can't. I can. So that's why I was able to make this decision and move forward. With also like my history of also owning a dog in the past, I felt confident that I would be able to provide adequate care to this dog even when I can't for myself, although he encourages me to. All right, another thing I've been trying to do lately is surround myself with people who feel good and make more of an effort to see the people who bring me joy. So I'm seeing friends, and I've made a friend, you guys. If you know me, well, if you know me, you don't. Because I struggle so hard to keep and maintain friends because, number one, I'm mentally ill and will disappear for months at a time. Nobody wants a friend like that. So, I have made a friend and I've been seeing past friends more. I have plans to see past friends more. Sorry. I have exciting plans coming up every month up until like September. I have concerts coming up. I have events. I'm excited, and I think it's partly due to the weather. And number two, next episode I might be so depressed that all this goes out the window. So I'm taking it for granted. Another thing that I've been doing lately is trying to get dressed and get ready every day, because even if I don't work, because typically on the days I just don't work, I have no energy and I just want to lay in bed all day, sleep all day, like 20 hours, and not do anything and rot for the days that I don't work. But I found that I feel better about myself. I feel more energized and like I can go out and do more. And like I'm not enticed to lay in bed because I'm ready. If I get dressed, if I happen to do my makeup, even if I'm not going anywhere besides going to walk my dog, it feels good. And it doesn't have to be all dolled up. It can just be like, actually get dressed, get out of your pajamas, even if it's into, sweat shorts and a different t-shirt, and then change back in the night. I feel like you can just rot in the same clothes for 4 days on it. Like, come on, girl, get dressed. So I've been trying to do that. Another thing I've been really good at lately is not letting my room cluster and get super duper dirty to the point where you can't see the floor. Yes, I am a depression room victim. But since moving into this home, which has been 2 months now, I've not had a depression room floor. And I think that also is what, like Crocodile, my dog, also helps me with that, because he loves to sleep on the floor. He also sleeps in my bed, but he loves to sleep on the floor. I can't have a cluttered floor. I can't have a dirty floor. He needs space to lay. He needs place to sleep. We need space to do everything. And I feel better about myself. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that getting dressed and getting ready would make you feel good about yourself? Who would have thought hanging out with the people that you love would make you feel good about yourself? Who would have thought keeping your space clean would make your brain feel clean? Oh, it's almost like all of the self-help and all of the freaking professionals were right. Okay, I know we talked about friends, but I'm also not investing too much time, but also not completely putting it off the table of like going on some dates or meeting someone new. But here's the tea. I've been struggling with my sexuality. And I have been for a while, but even more so lately. And so much so for a while that I've just been saying I'm queer instead of, I used to say like I'm for sure pansexual, but now I'm not sure. And I'm like struggling with not knowing for sure, but I'm also like trying to come to terms with not knowing and just being like okay to not know. But that bothers me. The unknown is uncomfortable. Of course, it's supposed to bother you, but it would be so much easier if I knew what I wanted. And I feel like I don't. So, but anyway, if you're in Vancouver and you're a lady, a single lady, or not a douchebag dude, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know. Hit me up. But ladies, hit me up in Vancouver. I need to go out more. I need to meet new people, whether romantically or just a non-romantic relationship, a friendship. I need to meet more people, especially in Vancouver, my community. I need to meet people. So if you're seeing this, you're listening, please reach out to me. Please comment. Please, whatever. I want to make more friends. It's so fucking hard. Is that just a Vancouver thing, or does everyone everywhere struggle to make friends? Especially in your 20s, like you're not in an institution like school where, unless you still are, I finished. Uh, it's hard to be in a place that's like that so you can make friends. In school, you're forced into the same classroom for 90 minutes a day, 5 times. So you're obviously going to make connections, hopefully. When you're just out in life, like, and you work and you come home, you work and you come home, and maybe you go out once in a while, it's hard to like make new friendships. It's hard to even sustain the ones you have. Everybody's getting older. Everybody has a 9 to 5 or a 5 to 9, and it's hard to freaking coordinate and maintain friendships that feel as thick as they did when we were younger, as fulfilling as they did when we were younger. That's a better word. Okay, mention mental health, but something that I feel most challenged by as of lately is my complex post-traumatic stress disorder inducing what feels like mild Stockholm syndrome. Not diagnosing myself, but that's what it feels like. That's the best way I can describe it is my PTSD is so complex that my dreams often feel like reality, or I'm convinced they are reality. And when I have nightmares or even I have good dreams that involve bad people, my brain is being tricked into thinking that those scenarios were real. And then I gaslight and guilt myself into thinking that the abusive relationships I had in the past weren't that bad, or that all these amazing things that I had in my dreams must have been reality. And I'm getting convinced that I miss them, which is terrifying. But I'm self-aware in the way that I know that these aren't real, these feelings, but it's still a battle in my brain of like feeling like I do miss them, and that they, like, I should have just stayed and that maybe things could have gotten better, and I miss them, but I'm missing what I'm dreaming about. I'm not missing the reality. I'm not missing someone trying to kill me. I miss what's being made up in my brain. I'm fantasizing about a situation that has never happened and will never happen, and that's so terrifying and makes me feel so guilty. Why am I like dreaming about someone and yearning for someone who literally hated my guts and made that very clear? That's something I've been struggling with lately. It's terrifying. And it doesn't just consume my dreams, it consumes my thoughts because they're so distressing. Trying to go throughout my day after a night of being convinced that this absolutely horrible person is someone I should miss. That's a thought I go all day thinking about, like, oh, do I miss them? Like, I question myself, but in reality, I know, like I shouldn't be, and that's not real, and I'm yearning for something that was not real. If you can relate, please let me know, because I feel so alone in that. And I don't think we see often accurate portrayal of that type of Stockholm syndrome. We see like extreme psycho killer, where someone like falls in love with someone who killed their mom. I don't fucking know. That to me is like not the most accurate form of Stockholm syndrome, where like even after you're removed from this horrible situation, it's hard for you to come to terms with it, that it was so horrible that you begin to convince yourself it wasn't, and you are wanting that person back in your life. Honestly, terrifying. Alrighty, I think that's enough. I'm proud of myself for even recording this much. I don't know how long this video will end up being, but thank you so much for tuning back in. I hope I don't ghost you again for this long. Let me know what you'd like to hear or see next, and I will try my best. Remember, you're loved. I love you. Somebody loves you. I hope you have an amazing day, amazing week or two, hopefully, until I speak to you next. Yeah, it was lovely to chat with you. Bye.
It's about to get really fucking brutal.